In this video, I show you Precinct Umbra from Dragon's Rest. But before we get into today's video, just want to share with you what the GGGGs are for this month. Each month, Bob the Beholder picks some of my Patreon supporters to receive gratitude gifts. And for this month of October of 2022, we have a $50 credit from LV427, three $50 credits from Terrainify on all orders $51 or more, these two painted and flocked hills from Terrainify, this ruin set printed and painted from Terrainify, my Kickstarter version of Etherfields, and $100 to go towards a crowdfunding campaign which my Patreon supporters are currently voting upon. Use the link below to go to my Patreon page if you want to get in on that. You guys all know that I am a huge Dragon's Rest fan, and I created two previous videos with epic builds. First for Space Hulk, check that out here. That was my first set of files that I purchased from Dragon's Rest. I got to know Ian really well, and then I also made a second epic build creating a Hero Quest board. Made multiple videos, go ahead and check that out here. So Ian did send me these files for a review. This is his most recent sci-fi set called Precinct Umbra, and you get all of the files for $24 US. And he designed these files to be compatible with Kill Team Into the Dark, which is inside of a Space Hulk and uses a lot of walls. And in fact, I don't think Kill Team does have heights to the game. It looked like, based on some of the pictures, that it was primarily just one level, and all of these walls are double-sided and definitely functions really well. And in fact, all of the pillars are really similar too, where you can cap the top off pretty easily using the clips that Ian has created for all of his files. Now, I actually don't play Kill Team. My sci-fi game of choice is Dead Zone, but I do have a couple of other sci-fi games that I would definitely use this terrain with. And you can see how versatile it is because he didn't just design it just for the walls to use in Kill Team, but as you can see here, it's multi-level. It has tons of flexibility and variability. There's a massive amount of details and a lot of choices. So $24 is actually a pretty good deal for all of these files that you're getting from this set. Not only that, but this set is compatible with his Sector Fatalis set, which is pretty much supposed to be used with the Zone Mortalis terrain from Games Workshop. And in fact, if you already bought the Sector Fatalis from Ian, you can get a 15% off buying this terrain, or you can buy both of them for 15% off total. I'm going to be using my set to play the new game Space Station Zero from Adam and Vince. And also, obviously, you can play this with 5 parsecs from home. And even I considered creating a huge board for Dead Zone, because even though Dead Zone is on a 3" by 3" grid, and this is more 4" by 4", there really is no reason why you couldn't use this because of the grid system that Dead Zone uses. So if I am crazy enough and if I have the time, I might create a huge board, an 8 by 8 board, which means 64 of these floor tiles in order to create a Dead Zone board. But as it is right now, it took a long time to print this stuff out, so I'm not 100% sure that I'm going to do that. But there is a huge amount of versatility here, and one of the things that I really like especially are these railings, which really look super cool. The stairs, these doors look awesome. I think they are great and fantastic. Again, they are made so that it fits the game, Kill Team really well, but as I've said, I'm going to be using this for a bunch of other sci-fi skirmishes. You don't need to print out the floor tiles because that takes quite a bit of time. I do have my sci-fi mat here from Mats by Mars, and the buildings look awesome there as well. And here I printed out a ton of these chain link fences on these concrete barriers, which I think is worth the price of entry. I've been looking for a long time for a 3D printable chain link fence that looks really cool, and this really is it. Prints super cleanly, prints really well, and I just have always been impressed with Dragon's Rest files, how clean that they print and without needing any supports. With this set, there are multiple clips, so it isn't just the standard Dragon's Rest clip, but there are different size ones, and there's the specialized ones for both the top and bottom. Now, I didn't choose to print out all the clips that you can because all of these buildings are freestanding because I want to be able to move them around quite a bit. But if you wanted to lock everything into place, you are able to do that, especially with this floor tile. So that prevents things from moving. But it is set up to be completely modular to be able to clip everything together and to be able to reconfigure as you go along. I didn't do a painting tutorial just because I used the same method, spray painted everything black and then just dry brushed the color on top of that just to give it more of a grimy look to it. But this time around, I did try to go with a little bit more color than I normally do because typically I like really grim and dark and rusted out buildings. But this time did a little bit more just to make it seem a little bit like cyberpunk, because recently I've been watching Netflix's Edge Runners, which I think is an awesome show. So check that out if you haven't seen that yet. But wanted to fashion my set here a little bit off of that, providing some color to it. Ian did optimize all of these prints, and in fact these walls are split in half and print flat like this. That actually speeds up the printing process quite a bit, and it does require quite a bit of assembly because you're gluing them back to back and making it so that you're able to clip these things together. So that will take some more time in terms of assembly and being able to put it together, but because of that you're getting a lot of unique pieces and you're able to create exactly what you want out of it. This building here was actually following the tutorial that he has in creating a basic building. So I do suggest doing that so that you get a hang of all of the features that are in this set. And I did custom make these side railings just because I didn't want to have to attach an edge piece and make this wider. And so I just took one of his pieces, used it in Microsoft 3D Builder to adjust it so it spanned this entire thing. And now I have a pretty cool bridge that I can put onto the terrain. I do know that Ian is going to be coming out with more files for this set, so just stay tuned. But let's go ahead and go over to the computer and I can walk you through what is in this and how to order. So go ahead and use the link below to go to Dragon's Rest website, and here you're going to want to click on sci-fi. And just as a side note, if you want fantasy, any of the fantasy files you have to get through the Patreon page. But the sci-fi stuff right now at least is available here on the Dragon's Rest website for purchase. That might change in the future. Ian said that he might be creating another Patreon page for the sci-fi terrain, but for now, this is where you're going to purchase it. So he has a bunch of stuff, and as I mentioned before, if you already have the Sector Fatalis set, which again is for Zone Mortalis basically, you're going to get 15% off if you already own that set because these are going to be compatible. The Sector Fatalis is 2-inch base, and this is actually 4-inch, and that's why it's going to be compatible. So as you can see here, he has all of the measurements. There are edge pieces, and all of the instructions on how to construct here are all of the different kinds of clips that you're going to need. And then this is the build guide that I used to create this basic set here. But you're getting a massive amount of different files. You have these pipes that can go along the top, and you have these signs that you can create, bunch of cameras or lights that you can attach as well. So it's because of all of these different features that you're going to be able to create almost anything that you want. He even has these large engines and mechanical pieces that you can add. And then this is one of my favorites, is all of the different kinds of railing that he has available. And then these are the transition pieces to the Sector Fatalis if you wanted to combine or attach these pieces onto them. So just a massive number of options that are all here just for the $24. I didn't print any of these out, these sort of like jail kind of walls. And there are half walls as well, so you don't have to go the full 4 inches across. And this is why this set is super versatile. It isn't just for Kill Team where really you only need the walls, but you can create all of these awesome buildings too. And in actuality, if you want to put furnishings inside of your buildings, you can go ahead and pick up the Sci-Fi Scatter Headquarters set, only $9. So it will give you some furniture that you're able to put inside. Bunch of other Sci-Fi Terrain. Outpost was a Kickstarter that he had, and he's been slowly cranking out these awesome pieces. Check out this bunker. It looks so cool. But there are a ton of other options that you're going to find. So go ahead and peruse this on your own when you have a chance. So there you have it. I think this set is fantastic, just like all of Ian's STL files. So this is just another amazing example of what he's been producing. If you are interested, go ahead and use the link below to go to Ian's site, pay the $24 to get this set. Also, use the link below if you want to go to my Patreon page in order to get in on the giveaways for this month. Otherwise, happy printing, happy gaming. We'll see you next time.